telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Welcome to the Objective Podcast with your host, Jay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk Headlines series. I'm your host, Jay, and this is The Objective. Thanks so much for tuning in to the 15th episode of the Let's Talk Headlines series. We have a jam-packed show today, so before we get started, folks, I want to remind you to check out www.politicalstorm.com. On politicalstorm.com, if you go there, you're supporting independent media. You can find some of my content, some of the articles that I've written. Haven't written one in a while, though, and my podcasts are uploaded to that website. Support us. You'll find a bunch of great different contributors on the conservative side of things. So if you are up to challenge your thoughts and your opinions and you want to go get another point of view, definitely check out politicalstorm.com. Also, you can find us on Facebook. If you don't follow me on Instagram, be sure to follow me at The Objective Podcast. I like to engage with all of my followers. DM me, comment on one of my posts. FYI, I typically, not rarely, well, it made no sense, but I typically do not post on my feed. A lot of the time you'll see me posting headlines on my story, my Instagram story. So it's not that I'm not active, it's just that I'm not posting particularly on my feed unless it's something that, I think is worth going on the feed. All right, so today's show. Wow, I am perplexed, folks. I watched the William Barr testimony to Congress, part 1 and part 2. They had it separated on YouTube. I watched both parts. It was long, several hours, but I was just befuddled at the theatrics that were pulled at that hearing. Let's get something straight. And you know what? I encourage you. I know everyone obviously does not have the time to look at a 6-hour or a 4 to 6 hour hearing. But I encourage you to take the time to watch the hearing. I have a feeling that a lot of the people involved in these hearings, especially on the left side of the political spectrum, are counting on the fact that you are not informed and you are not looking and paying attention to these things. Sometimes it seems that they are counting on our ignorance. They're counting on our forgetfulness, our low quality of memory that we have, the inability to recall certain things, so we can't call these people out when they're lying and being hypocrites. I encourage you to watch this hearing, because this is a critical hearing. Today's episode is entitled The War on the Truth. Let's get something straight, folks. Mueller's report came out after a 2-year investigation on the president, where hundreds of witnesses, thousands of interviews, search warrants executed, a very thorough investigation where you have everything to gain by indicting or by criminalizing the president. And in Mueller's report, there was no suggestion. There was no direction from Mueller to proceed with charges. On the count of collusion, there was no evidence that supported this count. This 2-year conspiracy theory that was perpetuated by those on the left, a 24-hour cycle, news cycle, every single day. It seemed that they were coming out and saying that there was evidence that undoubtedly put President Trump in the shoes of a Russian agent. There was evidence that put President Trump in a position to be impeached, a position to be indicted. Thousands of hours have gone into this, just basically lying. The mainstream media, the anti-Trump media, lying to their constituents, lying to their viewers, to their consumers. day in and day out, causing an animosity and a hatred based on nothing but a lie. And when the truth has come out, a moment where you know, where if you humble yourself, you can come and say, you know what, we were wrong. There was no collusion. We were in over our head. A moment where people can come together and decide to move forward is past. It is disregarded. Because even more than unity, even more than these people want unity and cohesion, they want control and they want power. Mahatma Gandhi said, truth never damages a cause that is just. Truth never damages a cause that is just. If your cause is just, you will not be intimidated when faced with the truth. If your mission is righteous, if your mission is moral, the truth is the last thing on your mind when thinking of a threat. Mueller did not suggest charges be put forth. AG Barr said that, you know, the Mueller team was more than welcome to aid in collaborate with formulating and putting together a report to put forth to the public. But Mueller declined. Attorney General Barr, he put out a report that was 4 pages based on a 448-page report. What do you expect a summary to be? A summary for a 448-page document should state the underlying facts. Were there charges? Were there indictments? No. I don't understand what the Democrats expected. And it's not even that the report is not public. The report is public. People are able to read the report. They're able to read exactly what Mueller did. It's all out there in the public. But for some reason, that's not enough. And for some reason, we see that there is a war on the truth. When you get to a point where you look at something and you say, this is blue, and, you know, generally we've been taught to know, you know, that the color associated to the sky is blue. And then someone else says, no, that's purple. And they come up with these creative ways of articulating and explaining why the sky is purple. Just complete disregard for the truth. And that's exactly how I felt when I was watching this hearing. Just castigating a man who is known to have an honorable track record. It reminded me of the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, where you have a man with a good track record, a great professional career, and a great, you know, life with a beautiful family. And because of politics, because of the desire and the need for control and power, these people will bend the truth. They will make war with the truth. Mueller was a coward, because if he wanted charges against the president, he could have put forward and encouraged and suggested that the AG proceed with charges. At the end of the day, the AG has the final say. That is his power. Obviously, it's a contrast from when Comey said he usurped the power of the AG and said, we are not going to be pressing forward with charges. Mueller could have suggested charges, but he did not. And here's the thing, and I'm going to explain to you something that I believe truly. If this investigation ended in charges against President Trump, the origins of the investigation would come to the surface. Anyone paying attention knows that the origins of this investigation regarding the FISA warrant application and spying on an American citizen using a foreign a warrant that is meant for spying on foreign entities, using that and bending that and manipulating that to target an American citizen. All of that would come to the public. And the fact of the matter is, the truth always has a way to squeeze itself out of the darkest and the tightest crevices and pop forward onto the surface. It always tends to do it. I don't know how it does it, but eventually, whether it's not today, whether it's not tomorrow, whether it's not a month from now or a year from now or 10 years from now, it will eventually come out. And the more the Democrats push and they counterattack, knowing that AG Barr is looking into the origins of this investigation, knowing that the truth will come out, they are counterpunching and they are preemptively striking with intensity. It's as if you're looking at a snake that's been trampled and it's just squirming, violently thrashing about, carelessly, knowing that its end is soon. It's just disgusting to me, because I've been following this thing from day one. And I beg you to read. I beg you to stay on top of this, because there are people who are so hungry for power. There are people who are so prideful that they would not ever give up the real estate that they think they have obtained. There are people who cannot say sorry, cannot say we were wrong, cannot say we broke the law. And to me, this is a kamikaze attack, because there's no way that this thing will end with both parties intact. There is something coming. Truth never damages a cause that is just. I just was looking at some headlines, and it looks like Facebook recently banned several accounts, most of them conservative based. One of those accounts obviously was Alex Jones, who is a self-proclaimed libertarian, not a conservative, although he does support the Republican president, Donald Trump. And Facebook considered these accounts. One of the accounts actually was Louis Farrakhan, a man who's been known to make anti-Semitic statements and claims and calls to violence. When did we get so sensitive, where we feel that we need to have a modern day book burning, where when an ideology or ideas are not acceptable by whoever's standard, the immediate reaction is to delete, to censor, to hide? When was that a thing? When did we stop combating ideas with ideas? When did we stop combating good ideas with bad ideas, or bad ideas with good ideas? When did we leave that realm? When did we stop? When did we become so sheltered that you're scared to let people learn a different point of view or to challenge their point of view? When was that a thing? Why are these people so afraid of different points of view? Why is it the answer from the left to censor people out of fear, rather than to combat ideas with other ideas and better ideas? When you censor, you validate. What is it that they fear? Folks, I want to thank you for your time. Leading up to this show, I had a lot of things that I wanted to say, and I don't know if I got them all across, but I do hope that you take the time to look at that hearing. I want you to understand that There is such thing as deception. There is such thing as subtle lies, misdirection, desperation. And it's so important for you and me to be informed, you and me to be well read, you and I, pardon my grammar, to understand and have a situational awareness. We cannot be merely consumers. You listening to me right now, I'm not here presenting anything to you that you could take my word as the gospel. I am hoping to be a spark to somebody who listens to this, even if it's one person, to step out of line. Look around and consider how we got to where we are. Thanks for tuning in. Make it your goal to be objective. Have a good night.